You're about to discover what most men will never understand. Women may seem like they've got it all under control, confident, independent, and emotionally untouchable. But what if I told you that behind even the strongest facade lie hidden psychological triggers that can unravel everything? Most men spend their lives chasing the wrong things: money, looks, flashy words, hoping they'll finally get it right. But the truth is, attraction has less to do with what you do and everything to do with who you are. In this video, we reveal the 10 dirty female weaknesses that no one dares to talk about, but every high-value man must know. These aren't cheesy tricks or gimmicks. These are deep emotional truths rooted in biology, psychology, and ancient Stoic wisdom. If you've ever wondered why some men effortlessly captivate women without even trying, this is why. Stick around to the very end, because once you understand these triggers, you'll never see women the same way again. Let's begin the journey. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and unlock what most men never will. Number 1. They say women are complicated, that it takes wealth, status, or perfect words to win her heart. But the truth? Sometimes all it takes is a single, well-placed touch. You see, attraction isn't built on logic. It's primal, subconscious. A woman can resist your compliments, question your intentions, even convince herself she's not interested. But when your hand lightly brushes the small of her back, or your fingers linger for half a second too long on her wrist, her defenses falter. Not because she's weak, but because she's human. Touch bypasses the rational mind. It speaks to something ancient in her. A well-timed gesture signals presence, strength, and calm, qualities of a Stoic man. He doesn't seek approval. He doesn't grope or grasp. He simply understands that less is more. That restraint is power, and that's the secret most men miss. While others fumble with words, the Stoic leads with energy, controlled, deliberate, unshaken. He doesn't overwhelm. He influences, without noise, without force. Because when a woman feels safe in your presence, when she senses your inner stillness, that's when her guard drops. That's when she feels not just touched, but truly seen. And that is where desire begins. Number 2, she says she wants a good man, one who's present, attentive, and always available. But then she ignores his messages and chases the one who doesn't text back. Confusing? Not really. It's human nature, and female psychology amplified. What's scarce is valued. What's uncertain becomes irresistible. The more she's unsure of you, the more her mind fills in the blanks. That's the forbidden effect. When you're too available, you signal you have nothing better to do. But when you have a purpose, a direction, a life beyond her, suddenly you're a mystery. A Stoic man doesn't hide. He simply doesn't reveal everything. He walks with intention. He's busy, not because he's playing games, but because he's not dependent on her validation. And here's the paradox. The more you let go, the more she wants to hold on. A man who's willing to walk away is often the one she can't forget. Stoicism teaches us to be self-contained, to want nothing yet attract everything. Not by chasing, but by mastering presence and absence. Because when a woman feels that you're not easily won, she steps forward. Not out of manipulation, but magnetism. In a world full of desperate energy, stillness is what pulls her in. Number 3, most men believe women want peace, comfort, and security, and they're not wrong, at least not entirely. But what truly keeps a woman emotionally tied to a man isn't the comfort, it's the contrast. See, emotional flatlines are the silent killers of desire. A woman craves motion, ups and downs, certainty and surprise, laughter and challenge. It's not drama she's addicted to, it's aliveness. When a man is too predictable, her curiosity fades. But when he brings emotional contrast, not chaos but color, he becomes unforgettable. One day he's soft-spoken, listening deeply. The next he challenges her thoughts with calm confidence. She never knows what's next. And that unpredictability, that's the spark. The Stoic man doesn't stir drama for attention. He's not reckless. He simply doesn't fall into monotony. He's deeply present but never clingy, emotionally aware. but never reactive. He knows that even stillness can have intensity. Women don't remember men who made them feel safe and bored. They remember the ones who made them feel fully, deeply, unexpectedly. In the art of connection, contrast is the brushstroke. And the man who can offer emotional depth without chaos is the one she never forgets. Number 4, there's a reason a woman can hear hundreds of voices in a day and forget them all, except for one. It's not what he said, it's how he said it. A deep, steady, deliberate tone doesn't just enter her ears. It enters her mind. It commands presence. It whispers confidence. It signals one thing loud and clear. This man is in control, not of her, but of himself. In a world of noise, the Stoic man is the signal. He doesn't speak to impress. He speaks to connect. He pauses where most men rush. He lowers his tone when most men raise theirs. And that stillness, that gravity, pulls her in like a tide. Because women don't fall in love with volume. They fall in love with certainty, with the kind of voice that calms storms, not by force, but by presence. A voice that slows the world down, makes her breathe deeper and wonder what he'll say next. It's not charm. It's not rehearsed. It's mastery. And the man who learns to use his tone as a tool, not to control her, but to center himself, is the man who lingers in her thoughts long after the words are gone. Number 5, she says she's not the jealous type. She says she's secure. But watch what happens when she sees other women glance at you, when she feels she might lose what she once took for granted. That flicker in her eyes? That's not fear. That's fire. Because deep down, every woman is wired to desire what is desired by others. Not because she's shallow, but because biology whispers, if others want him, he must be valuable. And this is where the Stoic man stands apart. He doesn't flaunt. He doesn't provoke. He simply lives with purpose, ambition, and focus. Women notice. So do others. And suddenly, he becomes rare. While most men seek approval from one woman, the Stoic man moves with calm certainty, knowing that his value is not defined by her attention, but by how he carries himself. That quiet confidence, it makes her nervous, in the best way. She realizes he could walk away. He has options. He has presence. And in that moment, she doesn't just want him. She feels she needs to win him. Because a man who is admired by many, yet chooses her without needing her, becomes irresistible. That's not manipulation. That's mastery. Number 6, most men rush. They meet a woman, feel a spark, and immediately try to lock it down. Confessions, constant texting, overexposure. But what they don't understand is this. Women don't fall in love in a straight line. They fall in the spaces between the moments. Tension is everything. A Stoic man understands the power of restraint. He doesn't chase. He doesn't flood her with words or emotion. He creates mystery. He gives her time to wonder, to question, to imagine. And it's in that wondering that desire is born. She starts checking her phone, thinking about his next move, not because he's playing games, but because he's mastered presence and absence. A pause in conversation becomes suspense. A delayed text becomes intrigue. A brief glance becomes a memory. Like a great novel, he doesn't give away the ending in chapter 1. He lets her turn the pages, curious, excited, and emotionally invested. Because when a woman feels she hasn't fully figured you out, she can't stop thinking about you. And that's what separates the Stoic man from the rest. While others give everything up front, he holds just enough back to be unforgettable. Number 7. Attraction isn't just about reality, it's about perception. A Stoic man doesn't just exist in her world, he lives in her imagination. You see, women don't obsess over men because of their looks or status. They become addicted to the men who haunt their thoughts, the men who don't say everything, the men who let silence speak, the men who leave just enough mystery for her to create her own story. And that is the fantasy effect. While others overshare, over-explain, and seek validation, the Stoic man remains composed. He knows that by withholding just a little, his intentions, his emotions, his past, he creates space. And in that space, her mind wanders. Her curiosity ignites. Her desire deepens. He's not a puzzle she solves in a day. He's a mystery she never wants to stop exploring. And the secret? He's not trying to be mysterious. He just doesn't need to impress. He knows his value. He's grounded, calm, present. A woman may forget the man who gave her all the answers, but she will always remember the one who made her feel, wonder, and imagine. Because fantasy isn't fiction. It's the emotional oxygen that keeps attraction alive. And the Stoic man, he becomes the story she can't put down. Number 8. A woman may say she wants an equal, but deep down she longs for something deeper, a man who leads with calm certainty. This is not about control or dominance. It's about direction. It's about presence. It's about the quiet power of a man who knows where he's going and doesn't need anyone's approval to get there. You see, in a world full of indecisive men, the Stoic man stands out. He doesn't ask, "What do you want to do?" every 5 minutes. He simply says, "Let's go." Not because he doesn't care, but because he already decided what matters, and he's unafraid to walk that path. Women test men not to manipulate, but to feel something real. They push, they challenge, they wait for cracks, and when they find none, when he stays composed under pressure, they feel it. Respect, safety, desire. A Stoic man doesn't flinch. He doesn't chase approval. He leads because that's who he is. Grounded, intentional, focused. And in a world of noise, indecision, and emotional chaos, his stillness becomes magnetic. She doesn't just want to be beside him. She wants to follow his lead, not because he demands it, but because his presence makes her feel safe enough to let go. And that is real authority. Number 9, she says she wants peace, stability, a drama-free relationship. But here's the truth most men never understand. Emotion is the gateway to her soul, not logic. A Stoic man doesn't offer chaos, but he knows that emotional depth, not emotional numbness, is what keeps her captivated. Women don't fall for men because it makes sense. They fall because they feel something unforgettable. A rush, a tension, a spark. The man who stirs her, without losing himself, is the one she remembers. Too many men play it safe, predictable, boring. They think showing emotion is weakness, or worse, that staying neutral means being strong. But real Stoic strength, it's not coldness. It's being anchored while you lead her through a storm of feeling. It's knowing when to pull back and when to lean in. It's challenging her, teasing her, surprising her, all without ever losing control. Like a fire kept in a hearth, emotion becomes magnetic when it's framed by strength. She may not say it out loud, but her heart craves the man who can take her on a ride, without ever letting go of the wheel. He's not emotional for her approval. He's emotionally present because it's real. And that authenticity is what leaves her addicted. Number 10. In a world that praises independence, where women rise strong and self-reliant, there's still one truth buried deep within. She craves a man who makes her feel safe enough to surrender. Not because she's weak, but because true femininity only blooms in the presence of unshakable masculinity. A Stoic man doesn't dominate. He leads. He doesn't control. He anchors. Through his calm presence, through his unwavering sense of self, she feels something she can't explain. Freedom through surrender. You see, modern advice tells men to be soft, apologetic, endlessly agreeable. But women don't melt for that. They melt for the man who knows his worth, sets boundaries, and doesn't flinch when tested. She doesn't want a man who asks for permission. She wants a man who moves with certainty, who holds eye contact like he means it, who touches her waist like he owns the moment, not her. When she senses that steady power, something primal awakens. She softens, not because he demanded it, but because his presence gives her permission to relax into her deepest nature. In that moment, the Stoic man isn't chasing her submission. He's earned it. And once she's tasted that kind of protection, she never forgets the man who gave it to her without saying a word. Final reflection: wisdom beyond youth. As we grow older, we begin to realize that true power doesn't lie in chasing approval or playing emotional games. It lies in self-awareness and quiet confidence. What draws others to us, especially women, isn't the need to impress, but the ability to stay grounded no matter what life throws our way. This is the heart of Stoicism, to remain unshaken in a world of constant change. A man who carries himself with calm strength, who speaks with intention, who leads with clarity, that's a man people remember. That's a man women respect. At this stage in life, the lesson becomes clear. Attraction isn't about being flashy. It's about being firm in who you are. Don't rush, don't chase, don't bend just to please. Instead, stand tall, lead with grace, and let others feel the safety and power of your presence. Because the greatest legacy a man can leave behind isn't just his name, it's the quiet strength he brought into every room he entered.